when you look to the needs of the modern consumer, I'm convinced that these 4 layers that you see here in this model bring value to everyone in today's world. And it of course starts with a good product, service, and price. That's the minimum that you need to be successful in a market, right? But it's also a minimum demand. Just like digital convenience. In today's world, people feel that digital convenience is like the most natural thing in the world. If you have it, fine. If you don't have it, you're in deep trouble. I mean, we're so used to digital interfaces that work well, that if it doesn't, we have some sort of a zero tolerance for digital inconvenience these days. And then, you can start to build on top of that minimum demand. And one of the things that I really believe in is having a partner in life philosophy. This is about understanding the human behind the customer. This is about having empathy for the life of the customer. Here it's not about a customer journey, it's about a life journey. And ask yourself, how can we help people change? How can we help people succeed in their life goals? What can we do as an organization to support that? Maybe it's not about selling cars, maybe it's about bringing mobility solutions. Maybe it's not about going to the gym, but it's helping people in a healthy lifestyle. Maybe it's not about renting out apartments to students, but it's about figuring out a way how you can facilitate them in having a successful start in their career. That's a partner in life. Put yourself in the shoes of the customer and think about their day-to-day life. This goes beyond your product, right? And then you have the top here, changing your world, using the strengths that you have as an organization to add value to society, to be part of the solution of some of the global challenges that we have. And more consumers start to value that. And each 4 of those components, individually, they bring value to the customer, right? But if you manage to combine all 4 of them together, you create an offer people can't refuse. Look, the bottom half of this model is about a functional relationship with your customers, a more rational relationship. It's about having a good product and good service and good interfaces. You need that, but it's part of the minimum demand. It's functional. The bottom half of this model is about a more emotional relationship with your customers, where you can, create a more deep, intense kind of relationship where you're connected with each other. And I can hear you think now that you're saying, okay, Steven, we are working on each of those components in our company. We have people responsible for product, we have people responsible for digital, we have someone who is deepening customer relationships, and we have people working on sustainability and CSR. We all have that. And I agree, most of the organizations that I've been working with to discuss these 4, all of them are working on those 4 components. But it's only a handful of companies that is actually connecting the 4. There's a big chance in your organization that indeed you are working on these 4 components, but they're disconnected. They're different parts of the organization. They have different responsibilities. They have different KPIs. They have a different agenda. And because of that, the impact on the market is just limited. The moment that you reconnect them, the moment that you connect these 4, you make one storyline, you make one experience, at that moment, the impact just goes 10x. And you create an offer people can't refuse. Sometimes people ask me, Steven, is this brand experience or is this customer experience? And it's not a relevant question in my opinion, because at the end of the day, for the customer, there's only one experience. Everything that your organization is saying, doing, or letting me experience myself is having an impact on how I see your brand, and it has an impact on the customer experience. It's something that we have split up in organizations somewhere down in history, but it doesn't make sense anymore. And the really dangerous thing is today that very often customer experience is just linked to the rational relationship, where you try to solve problems in customer service, where you try to build good working, convenient interfaces. And the top of the model is created by people who are responsible for the brand. And the problem is that very often people who are responsible for the brand just have a focus that is too much on everything that has to do with marketing communications. There's more than that. For me as a customer, every time that you do something bad for nature, every time that you bring a product that is lousy to the market, and every time your commercial isn't good, but every time I call to your call center, I'm helped in a fantastic way, all these elements define your brand perception for me. So all 4 define brand perception. But at the same time, all 4 of these components are also part of the customer experience. There's only one experience. And I would invite you to think about this. How are you organized today with these four components, and how can you evolve from being disconnected to connected? And how can you make sure that this becomes one storyline and one experience for your customers to make sure that at the end of the day, they have an offer they cannot refuse?